See, when I ain't had no money, I still had sauce. If you don't got no sauce, then you're lost. But you can also get lost in the sauce.
What's happening? What you mean, man? SauceTV, man. 2025. We outside all summer. I am your humble and gracious host, DJ Sturgis. I'm always being joined by. I have the right people on, man, for the right reasons, and of course, man, we always have to come through with the right message, man, because it's a lot of toxic content that's out there these days. But I'm being joined by somebody who I've been following for a long time, been connected with for a minute. He's done a lot in the city of Atlanta and a lot of avenues, and we're going to discuss that. But, now he's in the world of politics. Right. Councilman-elect StevO Dingle is joining us today, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. DJ Sturgis, my boy, man. I'm feeling good, man. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, man. This is new, man. This is definitely something I wasn't expecting to see, but I was hearing a lot of friends and colleagues, especially people that's from Atlanta, started saying that like they wanted to get into the world of politics, especially local politics, and now you're running for a city council.
City council.
What, a district
11. Southwest Atlanta. Yes, sir.
The SWATs.
The SWATs. The SWATs, absolutely.
And so what made you want to get into politics?
Yeah, I always knew this was going to be my next pivot after music.
Wow.
So if anybody doesn't know, I've been in the music industry for the past 13 years as a manager, A&R, label owner, publisher, etc. And I knew this was going to be the next step. So I was going to give myself to a 40. I always wanted to win a Grammy. I've sold millions of records, I've broken artists, signed, independent, done it the whole route. But I was like, by 40, I'm going to just pivot. I didn't get the Grammy, and I'm 35 now, so I'm going a little early. I was going to run in 2029, but now it's 2025. But my current council member, Marcy Cole Overstreet, is running for city council president. So the seat is open. So it was just divine timing where I just said there's no need to wait. And I was already putting some feelers out there, so it just made sense to go ahead and do it now.
Yeah, I feel that, man. Sometimes, God just say, nah, you got to go right now.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. That's exactly what I feel like. Absolutely.
Yeah. So city council. Why city council?
Yeah, before when I was thinking about politics, I didn't know which realm it was going to be. I was like, should my first run be for state, senate, state house, or should I go for the big dog? Should I go for Congress, U.S. Congress? But as the vision kind of honed in, city council was definitely something that felt more reasonable, especially for my first political campaign. And just, being from Southwest Atlanta by way of Henry County, I've spent both time in McDonough and Southwest Atlanta. But it's just a place that means so much to me. And we use the word historic when I first walked in. It's just a historic part of Atlanta. And the history and just want to be part of that history while creating my own path and serving people. I just thought this was the best route to go.
Hey, man, well said and well spoken, man.
And that's that Clark Atlanta University education talking.
Yeah, what you mean? What you mean, man? Hey, so you get into the world of politics. You talk about that pivot. You was doing so well in the world of music, because that's how I knew you, you know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of artists that you worked with from rest in peace, OG Mako, Mako, you know what I'm saying? And you've always been around, and you've been around a lot of movements, like Love Renaissance. You know what I'm saying? You was definitely outside during the department store days.
For sure.
And you sold millions of records, so why get out of that?
Yeah, to me, not saying music is a young man's game, but I've always been in the service industry. I know music is what most people know me for, but that comes from wanting to serve people. And as a manager and executive, you are behind the scenes role because you want to see these artists thrive. You want to support their vision. And even from that, I've been a softball coach. I've been a substitute teacher. I've always done something that was of service. And then when I was in school, I worked in a hotel, the hospitality industry.
Yeah.
So I've just always done something that's of service. So serving my community in a political fashion, to me, it just felt like a natural step.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily leaving music. It just felt like a step into another version of service.
And that's actually well put, man, because one thing a lot of people get misinterpreted about, the entertainment industry, media industry, they feel like when you stop doing it, you lost your motion or you fell off or something like that. And one thing I always try to tell people is everything that we do is connected in some type of way. The music industry exec needs to know who the local politician is. You know what I'm saying? The rapper needs to know who the chief of police is. He needs to know the city councilman. You know what I'm saying? And we see that a lot in the city of Atlanta these days, thanks to people like Killer Mike and T.I., because a lot of our artists are very active outside, So it's not like it's necessarily a step down or anything like that. It's not falling off. It's not like you got blackballed or anything like that, because it all ties in together anyway.
100%, 100%. And it's a rumor. I don't know if it's a saying, but like nothing prepares you for the world really like the music industry.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily, when I say we, I don't mean us two specifically, but the industry as a whole. You know, you learn a lot of raunchy business, sneaky business. Like, so like we can handle the music industry, we can handle any industry.
Anything.
So getting into politics, people always try to warn me of the sneakiness of it, the snakiness of it. But I'm like, man, brother, I came from the music industry. It doesn't get too much worse than that. So I definitely feel like it's a natural, pivot into this. And like you said, everybody needs to know their politician, from the creatives, the musician, the executives, et cetera. So it blends all together.
Yeah, and I know for a fact, like, that's something I've been working on in 2025, really expanding my political connections. I mean, I know a lot of people, but one thing I've seen in politics is that we really have to have that new generation come in, and that's our generation, because we're millennials,
Correct.
So we have to be the ones that's active. So I just took it upon myself to, just start reaching out and really just, starting to connect. But in running for city council, like in District 11 and SWATs, what's some of the things that you're looking to bring to the community?
Yeah, absolutely. As we all know, the SWATs is a historic part of Atlanta. When people outside of Atlanta, maybe even within, when they think about the culture of Atlanta, to me, it's Southwest Atlanta. You got to think about our politicians, from Kasim Reed to Keisha Lance Bottoms. I know Shirley Franklin, I think, is from Philadelphia, but she even lives in the area still. And you just brought up Killer Mike and Outkast, Criss Cross. So a lot of cultural things. Lil Baby, he's not from our district, but the SWATs in Oakland City. But it's culturally relevant for years. Greenbrier Mall used to be the it mall of Atlanta before. Had the first Chick-fil-A ever in that mall. So we have this historic value that I think, like, we always have. Like, that hasn't gone anywhere. These places that I'm referring to and these people are still around. But I feel like as Atlanta is growing and become this international city, that oftentimes Southwest Atlanta has been left out a little bit. So when we look at how downtown has changed, or Midtown or Buckhead has grown, nobody's trying to gentrify Southwest Atlanta, but it's definitely some economic development where we talk about industry, job opportunities, to where people in Southwest Atlanta can live there, work there, educate their children there, and also enjoy their time there. We should have amenities just like a Midtown have. We should be able to walk out our doors and maybe go to a bowling alley, have some shopping and whatnot, but also without displacing. We just want to elevate the area, not, like I said, not gentrify it. So I think that is something that Southwest Atlanta needs, and also infrastructure. Make sure our roads are paved. Make sure everything is in order. Every light works. Every stop sign is fixed. Every sign, if we're speeding down the road, put some speed bumps there to make sure we're safe. And like I said, and the infrastructure is intact. And then, of course, although I'm not running for school board, educating our children is a big thing. Like I said, I started substitute teaching. My wife's a teacher on the West Side. My mom's been a lifelong teacher. And we were talking about how COVID has affected our children. I have children too. I have a 17-year-old, a rising senior, a 10-year-old, said to 5th grade, and a 2-year-old in daycare. And I think just coming up with ways and working with organizations, parents, families, schools, and school board to make sure we equip our children with all the proper resources to become the most productive members of society they can be.
And that's a lot right there, and especially like one thing I know about the SWATs. And I learned this really like when I started interning up here. Like calls would call in. I'd be like, yo, like, where you calling from? And they would all say the beautiful Southwest Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
Everybody would say that. And then, like, I started spending more time over there. You know what I'm saying? I had a former ex who stayed over there as well. So I used to go around and just ride. I'd be like, damn, I can see why they say this. You know what I'm saying? And like, it wasn't all glitz and glamoury. It's not Buckhead or anything like that. But you can tell it's black people that care about their community, that's been here forever and who built this up. It's a lot of black businesses in the SWATs. I have a friend who has a business in the SWATs as well, So like, that's one thing I love about that community, and it's good that people who care about the community want to be there and actually serve that area, because those people ain't going nowhere.
That's a fact.
That community, like that, listen, people move around, but SWATs, they not going nowhere.
Absolutely. I just spoke with a neighborhood association, Baker Hills, and they're celebrating their 75th anniversary of that community. And it was a lot of older people there too, had maybe not been there all 75 years, but you're talking about 30, 40. Like I said, it is people that are there. And luckily, like I said, we may not be looked at as a bucket, but we got some money now. Just Lake, Camp Creek, like we got some money. So we got people who own their homes, and we have apartments as well, but we definitely a community that cares about itself. From no matter what class level you come from, we're definitely a community that cares for sure.
So share with people, why should they be involved in their local elections, but also like share how important the city council really is to a community? Yeah,
absolutely. There's several roles the city council plays. What one does start off is like we're all like mini mayors of our districts. So before you have a complaint to just go to the mayor, you think something wrong's in your city, you can either call the departments, which city council will have a relationship with all the departments. So like if your public works, they didn't come to your trash this week, or your trash can messes up and you need a replacement, you can call the Department of Public Works. But if you don't have a contact you don't know, you can call your council person and just say, hey, the wheel on my trash can is broke. I need another one. I can point you in the right direction and put you with the right department so that's fixed. Or anything, like I said, your stop sign in your neighborhood is upside down. This is a real story. I keep bringing that up because I actually went door knocking in the neighborhood, and I was like, see, your stop sign being upside down, I'm going to file a claim for y'all. But like when I'm on city council as well, you now know me to where you may not know the department, but you can call me and I can get a case filed and get your stop sign fixed and stuff like that. So we can point you in the direction of any department of any needs. You can watershed, police, fire and rescue, parks and recreation. If you feel like the park's not up to standard, you can call me, but and we'll get it done. But also, city council controls the budget. So even the mayor has to come present in front of the city council. Every department that I just named has to come in front of city council and say, hey, this is what amount of money we need to function, and this is what we need it for. These are our plans for the next year. And city council either says, you need $10 million, we think you can do it with 8, or, hey, this is a focus, Department of Transportation, this is a focus for us this year. We're going to give you extra $2 million because we know we need some further infrastructure on needs. So we control the budget, and they just passed the biggest budget in Atlanta history of $3 billion for this year going into 2026. So that's insane. So we should see some real changes around Atlanta this year. So control the budget. Of course, like I said, we're like mini mayors, but we're also like the Congress of city politics. So when I say that, it's like if Congress creates legislation, the president signs off or vetoes it, city council is that for city politics. So we create legislation, which we call them resolutions and ordinances, and that becomes law and the mayor signs off. Things like that. Or something we can pass ourselves to it. If it's a majority vote, it goes into effect. But yeah, we create legislation as well. So budget, legislation, and also, like I said, anything in the district, anything regarding city politics, you can call your city council person.
So y'all really the connect.
That's it. We are the liaison. And it reminds me of music management. I got to talk to the publisher. I got to talk to the label, the PR, the booking agent, etc. It feels like the same thing to where anybody call me, I'm gonna have to get it done. I can plug you here. I can get you connected to this. I can get your problems off here. Okay, I gotta come sit with you and talk about things. That's why I said the music and politics it overlaps a lot.
So this is something that people just need to also understand when it comes to city council. And like we're talking about SWATs and District 11, but this is still for the city of Atlanta. All right, he's on the city council, District 11. Yes. So you're in District 11, you in the SWATs, you can call him.
There you go.
But he's still on city council of Atlanta. Okay, so this is major. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I tell people on the campaign trail that although only people in the district can vote for me, we make decisions on behalf of the city as a collective once you're in. So that's why, like, of course you have to campaign hard in your district. But it's good for the entire city to know you because you're making decisions on behalf of the entire city. You just represent your district. So that's why I still spread my campaign around because I want people from all over the city to say, I know Councilman Dingle. He came by, he stopped by this event, I saw him here, and that way we all know you can hold someone accountable. Even if I'm not in your district, you can say, let me call Councilman Dingle and see what's going on. So I plan to be that kind of leader.
And I've seen you at an event on the east side.
I'm everywhere.
Yes. And you mentioned resolutions. That's something that I think more people should be educated on because when I talk about politics with people, usually it's Republicans and Democrats, and I'm not a fan of either party really, unfortunately, but I can say like one thing about the Republicans I can respect is that they get what they want. But why do they get what they want? Because the people who are electing these people, they are telling them, this is what we want. And if you want to keep this job, you gonna do what we want. you're going to get this passed. So a lot of times when we get upset about things that's being overturned, like Roe v. Wade and things of that nature, and this big, beautiful bill that just got passed and all of that, there is people that voted for these people that said, this is what we wanted. This is why we put you here. Right. And on the Democratic side, it's not really that. We elect you and then y'all know what we need, so go handle it. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it is. And it's like we have to get more active. And I think that that's something that people should really understand, especially when it comes to their city council members, because local elections affect you more than anything. 100%. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know, and like, what's a piece of legislation that you think that should be introduced in the Black community?
Yeah, and
locally and on a national level.
Yeah, for sure. And real quick, because you brought up the party system, running for city council is a nonpartisan position.
Yes.
So luckily, we don't have to worry about Republican, Democrat. We're here to serve the people. We're not a part of a party. You can choose to do it, but historically, nobody registers under Republican, Democrat. We are here to serve the people. If you're in the district, we're here to serve you. We're not playing those click up games. But regarding legislation, I think council member Lillian Bakhtiari, who's of District 5 currently, I think they led the way on the legislation regarding tobacco and smoke shops around schools.
Okay.
They have to be a certain distance away from schools, and I love that.
Yeah.
Like, we know I think it's a federal thing, if not state, that they raised the smoking age with tobacco to 21.
Oh,
so,
growing
up, high school, 18-year-old seniors were out smoking cigarettes, Black and Milds.
Yeah.
But now, 21, so you shouldn't see any vaping, anything on a high school.
Oh, no, them kids vape like mud.
We know,
they be vaping.
Right, you shouldn't see it. But I know that's something recently that I love that legislation, because I'm all for protecting our children and keeping that distance. Children, they see TV, they're on Instagram and TikTok, but if they walk out of school and they see a vape shop right across the street, they still are going to try it. So I can't remember the exact mileage is away, but I know it shouldn't definitely be in visual distance of a school. So I definitely appreciate that recent legislation that was passed. But one thing for the Black community, and I'm fortunate enough that you asked that question, that my district is 96% Black, 2% white, 2% other. So I'm serving the Black community by default, just by the makeup of my district. But I just think some initiatives around incentivizing more development and maybe even venture capitalists, something around supporting businesses in Southwest Atlanta, because in that economic development piece, there has to be some incentive to get developers, to get people to support the businesses that are already there to where they find value in it. Because they clearly see the foot traffic, the amenities in downtown, midtown, and Buckhead. That they get what they want to snap of a finger. That's because, one, the people have the capital, the people have the money as far as regular everyday citizens, and also the foot traffic. Like downtown, midtown, you can Atlantic Station to where we are now, 14th Street, like people are walking, so businesses can make money. In Southwest Atlanta, it's really residential. So there's not a lot of people walking out of their homes and walking. Exactly. There's not a lot of high rises where thousands of people are coming downstairs to walk the streets. So we have to create and incentivize people to find out there is some money here. There are people who can't afford it, and we want to attract more people to visit Southwest Atlanta. When you come for World Cup or the Super Bowl, we want to attract more people to come spend money with us too. They can go back and stay in their hotels in Buckhead, because, like I said, we're residential. The closest hotels to us are on Camp Creek, where we share with East Point and College Park. So it's not going to be a lot of people staying in Southwest Atlanta, because there is nowhere to stay. Unless Airbnbs, of course. But just want to incentivize, create legislation that maybe if you get a tax break or something like that to invest in Southwest Atlanta, or maybe it's just some sort of incentive. And of course, that once I'm elected, we'll get with the working minds and figure it out. But I definitely want to incentivize. So I saw something in Kansas City, and I wrap up here, to where, because they're getting part of the World Cup as well. So at the same time we are. So the government was buying properties of empty buildings. So say you got a plaza, and it's got like a Little Caesars, a little boutique shop, Chinese store, then one spot is just blank. They're buying properties like that and allowing businesses to come in, like, we got you, we're buying it, y'all the revenue, and they want, and then through the revenue in the World Cup, they're hoping that through the revenue they'll make it back, or whatever the situation I love that. So I was like, we got a lot of places you could do that for. And I know, like I said, World Cup is next year. So I know if I'm elected, I would start January. But if that's something that I could introduce, that's some legislation that I thought that idea was brilliant, because it makes the city look more vibrant as well. When you got visitors and there's no empty buildings and people can shop and visit and patronize, oh my God, that's amazing. So that's an idea I would love to introduce as well.
When is this election coming up?
Yeah, so election day is November 4th this year, 2025. But we have early voting. Got 2 weeks to early vote, which is the last 2 weeks of October. So October 14th through the 31st is early voting. November 4th is election day. That's the last day you can vote, man. But go ahead and early vote. It counts just the same.
Yes.
You don't got to worry about taking off work. You're going to be off one of those days, and the polls should be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. during early voting hours, and, of course, on November 4th, the same thing.
Hey, there it is, man. StevO Dingle, Councilman-elect, District 11 in the SWATs. Make sure, if that's your district, please make sure that you're registered to vote. But it doesn't matter what district you are in. In the times that we are living in right now, you need to be as active as possible. If you are on the Democratic side, especially my black people, please, please, let's mobilize and let's do what the people, these other communities that are against us, that we feel are against us. Let's do what they doing, okay? If there's some legislation that you feel like should be introduced locally, nationally, let's do that.
Let's do it.
Please, 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 because like we can't wait for somebody to come through and save us. Ain't nobody gonna come through and be like, yo, this is an issue. I'm gonna make sure that you and your community gets this. All right. The closest thing we had to that was Obama. All right. Come on. We have got, and we didn't get that man no help. So please, let's do that because you see what's going on right now. If you don't get active, only thing that's going to happen is that you're going to still be complaining and you're going to still be in the same situation that you're in. And that is something that I cannot live with personally, not for myself, not for my family, not for my community. So as I'm trying to get more active in the world of politics, I think everybody should, because these people are only here because we vote for them. We can take their jobs from them, okay? This is not like your manager at your job that you can't stand but they won't fire. No, we can legit remove these people from their jobs and they can go work at Amazon. If you know what I'm saying? Or they would have to pivot, whatever. We can do that. So let's do that. We have to hold these people accountable on every level, okay? Because that's the only way that as a community we can rise, okay? If y'all want y'all reparation check, I want mine. So please, let's do what we got to do, man. All right, SteveO, man, you got my full support in every way. Of course, let people know how they can follow you and support you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm StevO Dingle. I'm a candidate for Atlanta City Council District 11 in the SWATs, and y'all can be found everywhere, all social media, Dingle for Atlanta, or you can Google StevO Dingle for Atlanta. Everything will pop up, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, everything. And then my website is dingleforatlanta.com. Last name D-I-N-G-L-E. Dingle for Atlanta. 4 is spelled correctly, F-O-R. So, yeah, man, Dingle for Atlanta on everything.